42, which is the last insight. One is influenced because the mind is accessed by means of one of the senses, including the imagination. Now that you know the tricky ways others employ or use to overwhelm your senses and mind, you know not to be impressed by their methods, and to keep your senses away from such manipulations. Likewise, do not think of sex or sexual thoughts by disallowing your mind to harbor any such thought. See inside 120. See inside 120, see also the explanation. So, let me read that again. Likewise, do not think of sex or sexual thoughts by disallowing your mind to harbor any such thought. So you disallow your mind to have such a thought in the mind. Simply blank your mind, which is inside 68 and its explanation. Simply blank your mind. The difference being that you know the solution to sexual fixation. If you feel that you want to allow sexual thoughts and you want to view them by your senses because you feel compelled to know more about it, then expose yourself to it in order to complete your understanding of their tricky methods. Upon doing this numerous times, I emphasize numerous, you will notice that you really do know the methods that they employed, and that you are not learning anything new, and the reason why you are being influenced is only because you allow the thoughts to come into your mind. As you remember, whatever reality is prominent in the mind, it asserts its influence over the mind, and it becomes real to the mind. It being the sole reality that is real in the mind has no alternative but to work with the confines of the reality that it knows. The person cannot help but be influenced by the sole reality in the mind. Therefore, that last step to the summit of victory and total control over this elusive multi-headed dragon of sexual fixation and sexual attraction is to not allow it to enter the mind by stopping yourself from thinking any sex-related thoughts. In short, you will not allow the presence of sexual thoughts in your mind. So basically, when thoughts come into the mind through the senses, grabbing the attention, grabbing the mind by the attention, by the powerful contrasts and other various manipulations, grabbing the attention, right? Because you know the tricks, you are not surprised, and you go, oh, my mind finds this and this and this attractive for this reason. The potency of this is because of this and this. You know about them, and you're unimpressed. And you're gonna focus on peace, control, and other things. If you allow yourself to focus on these matters that you know about, you have the great potential to be influenced by them. Why? Because you're allowing your mind to form a reality that is that reality. That's it. That's what you're allowing in your mind. You want to be able to control the reality your mind is focused on. And if you focus on sexual reality, the sexual reality will overtake. If you focus on peace reality will overtake, and you will experience peace. The only reason we and a lot of people focus on the sexual experiences or sexual depictions is because they are grabbing the attention using tricky methods. But understanding how the tricky methods work, you're no longer impressed. You actually control your own focus, your own attention, and you draw it back to peace, control, love, anything positive, away from this garbage. The only reason you might want to focus on the sexual misinformation is because you're still trying to learn some new ways that you haven't totally completely understood or identified. Identified or understood, you need to understand it of these various methods so that you can master them. So You may succumb to them, you may be falling under the influence of sexual influences because you focus on trying to solve and understand these ways that are of manipulation which you're not familiar with yet. So, upon studying many of these tricky methods, you've basically mastered 99% of them. You know about them, and the only reason you're left influenced is because you keep focusing on them. So the last step to victory, complete victory, is to disallow them entry into your mind. They cannot enter your mind because you know the tricky methods and you don't fall for it. You don't allow them to grab your attention because your mind is unimpressed because it doesn't impact your mind. It doesn't impact your mind because you know how the tricky methods work. Therefore, your attention is not grabbed. And this way you remain peace, calm, and happy and joyous. Any questions you have, do let me know.